I do apologize. Can you say your name for me? Because I don't want to say it wrong.
Yep, Morgane.
Yep. So Morgane is an offensive security dork. So she builds strong security through teamwork and uplifting people both personally and professionally. And took a winding road from emergency medicine all the way to infosec in pursuit of the ability to protect others. So the talk is going to be on dependencies. So I know this is a problem that a lot of us have in terms of talking to non-security people about security issues. So please take it away.
Yeah, great, thank you. I'm sure it's readily apparent that I'm going to be doing this talk as a velociraptor.
Oh yes, I forgot that. I was used to that, so I'm sorry to.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure people will figure it out, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they?
Yeah. All right. So here we go. So dependencies, barely managing. Start with a bit about who I am. I'm Sh3r4. I'm also known as Morgane. Some of you know me. I'm sure fewer of you like me. I'm on Twitter at Sh3r4hacks and GitHub at Sh3r4. You should check out the GitHub. There's some interesting stuff going on if you like SMB and very big Active Directory environments. As you heard, I'm a former medic turned software developer turned infosec dork. My friends say I don't take anything seriously, so I want to tell you now that I'm not in fact a velociraptor, but I can balance its distant cousin on my head. I'm an application security specialist at NAB, so I have to say everything in the presentation is entirely my own work, my views, my opinions, and in no way reflects on my employer. I also sometimes consult under Grayskull Security, but really it was just an excuse to have the cool logo made. So why velociraptor? I thought we all needed a little bit of fun, and someone has to lower the bar, and I'm usually that someone. So here I am. All right, let's get started, shall we? I want to start by setting some expectations. I'm not here to talk about technical implementation. I've written a bit about technical implementation of some of the topics here in Cult of the Cyberwitch. I'm happy to share some of my technical insight after the talk, but it's a very custom, it's a very bespoke field when we start talking about dependencies and development. Far bigger scope than I have time for right here. And I'm definitely not going to be talking about vendor products. There's a lot of them out there. I can't tell you which one's right for you. I'm not even going to try. And I'm also not going to talk about dinosaurs. It's not really infosec related. They're cool though, you should look them up. So what am I talking about? I'm assuming we're mostly infosec here. And today I want you to rethink how you use technical language. I want you to leave here knowing that words don't always mean what you think they mean, and that that's okay. Language is hard. Seriously, they've written like whole books about this. They don't even have pictures. Not convinced? Fine. We'll start with a case study. Let's open the mysterious note. Dependency management. This one phrase has haunted my entire career in tech. But it got a lot worse when I moved into infosec, and here's why. When I was a developer, it meant one thing. I can make sure my build is locked to known versions and consistent across development, testing, production. It's great. Consistency is exactly what we need when we're talking about enterprise software. So for years, I went on like that. And then I moved into security. And then it meant I can stop code that I know is vulnerable from getting into production. Awesome. We don't want known vulnerabilities in our production software. This is great. But these definitions are slightly at odds with one another. One of them is locking it, and the other one is purposefully changing it. So who's right? Yeah, it was the straw man. If you guessed straw man, it was the straw man. I told you language is difficult. And a lot of the time, we're going to have multiple meanings. I did a little bit of research into that, actually. And it turns out that even definition has multiple correct definitions. So we're really deep in the weeds here. But, Miss Raptor, you say, what if we say software composition analysis or software bill of materials instead? Yeah, okay. Very clever. But now we have another term that we have to explain. Maybe it's a bit less ambiguous. Maybe it'll help us. But here's how that conversation usually goes for me. What is software composition analysis? The developer asks. It's when we look at the dependencies that your package manager retrieves at build time, and we check them for security. Oh, you mean dependency management, like what NPM does? Oh no. Now we're right back where we started. We're still talking about dependency management from the developer's perspective. We've been betrayed by NPM. Now, I want to make one thing clear. The introduction of security and security's definition of vulnerability management into NPM is great. It's a wonderful feature. It doesn't actually make life harder for us. It's allowing developers to have more control, more visibility over security. And that's a really good thing. So what is the problem here then? If none of the package managers are to blame, what is, and how do we solve it? Well, it's us. It's a little inflammatory. Perhaps it's a bit reductive, but it's us. So what do I mean by that? We love to be correct. It's not actually a problem. In fact, it's probably one of our greatest strengths. It's what drives us to learn more. It's what drives us to investigate. It's what drives us to break. It's what drives us to build. It makes us good at our jobs. It's why we're here on a public holiday, sitting, learning new things. I suppose there's the lockdown as well, but you're still here. But sometimes we have to take a step back. Sometimes we have to quell that instinct. We don't have to correct all the time. So what is the solution? It's yes and. It means breaking some habits. It means swallowing your pride sometimes. It means sometimes you have to let people be wrong. If the fact that they're talking about isn't related to the direction we're trying to move the conversation, it doesn't matter. If we're able to do this, though, if we're able to hold back, it's good. In my experience, information security doesn't work well when we only focus on technical solutions. It's the people that make security stronger. And people aren't at their best when they're fighting with each other, when they're trying to correct each other. People work best when they're building on top of each other. And we don't actually have to agree on what a technical definition of a term is. It doesn't matter. As long as we all understand the direction that we're headed, we can build there. We can build that solution. We don't even have to speak the same human language. So in the definitely not misattributed words of Darth Vader, strong people don't put others down. They lift them up. And that's what we need to strive towards. So let's take a look at that conversation, how it could have gone. What is software composition analysis? Well, it's when we look at dependencies in your package manager, see what it retrieves at build time, and we check them for security. Oh, you mean dependency management, like what NPM does? Yes, exactly. And we can do other package managers too. So whenever they retrieve packages, we can scan those. We can keep the build consistent and secure across all our environments. Well, that sounds great. Can you help us integrate that into the CI/CD pipeline? And yes, we can. That's what we're about in application security. That's what we do. That's what we live for. This is exactly where we want the conversation. So I want you to think about maybe some conversations you've had about technical solutions. And if there were facts, maybe the other person got wrong, and whether they mattered to the overall direction, what you wanted to fix. So at this point, you're thinking, did I just spend a bit shy of 15 minutes being told to use my words? Yes, you did. That's what I came here to say. And I apologize for nothing. This is really important. This is how we build strong enterprise scale security. And it's very hard to move away from. It's an instinct that's built into all of us. We're always ready to go, actually, I think you'll find that in episode 123, there was a deleted scene where it was revealed that he didn't, in fact. We don't need to do that. It's not helpful. But we can take that step back. We can pause, think about the message we're trying to communicate, think about the solution we're trying to build, and make sure we only communicate in a way that builds forwards instead of hampering our ability to create strong security. And we create strong security by building better teams. And when we have better teams, we have more secure software. And when we have more secure software, we have more secure customers. And I know for myself, and I suspect quite a lot of other people, we got into this because we want to protect people. We want to make sure that that data is safe. And we can do it, but only as a team. So thank you. Thank you for coming and being curious and wanting to be more correct and spending some time listening. Thank you for being fabulous. And I hope you go away thinking about another way you could communicate in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that talk. I know there's a lot of conversation going on in the main chat about, security is there to enable a business. It's not there to be a blocker per se, and coming up and working together to form those solutions is more important than ever right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, in my experience, it's actually something that's quite difficult to achieve. Because we've all got egos, we've all got agendas, and we have to suppress ourselves. So thank you. Yeah.
No worries. Thank you very much. I'm sure there's a lot of clapping going on in the chat right now. So thank you very much for sharing with us.